Hare Krishna, welcome everyone to our Chaitanya Caritāmrta audio class. We'll begin with our prayers. Om Jnana-timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chaksharo Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadam Hiyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavamsha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunathānvitam tam sajivam sadvaitam savadūtam parijana sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamsha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostate Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः नमः ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामी नित्यनामिने नमस्ते सारस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणि जय श्री कृष्णा चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे Hare Krishna. So we are discussing from Chaitanya Charitāmrita Madhya Lila. We are on chapter 12, the cleansing of the Gundicha temple. So in this chapter, Kaviraj Goswami has described Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He organized wonderful cleaning of Gundicha temple. So many lessons were learned in this wonderful pastime of Gundicha Marjan. In this pastime, Mahaprabhu showed by his personal example how one should take all the endeavors, all the pains, sacrificing one's own personal comforts, at the same in serving the Lord. At the same time, one should be very expert in managing seva. Some services can be done personally, some services should be delegated. And those people who are doing services nicely, they should be appreciated. Those who are not doing services properly, they should be corrected. So systematically, Mahaprabhu, he described all these wonderful pastimes and he taught us that this Gundicha Marjan, it represents the cleansing of our heart so that Krishna can enter, Krishna can come. So in this first Mahaprabhu, he cleansed all the gross things and all the big particles of the dust and stones and pebbles and leaves, straws. And then next time the margin, the cleaning was done at a very detailed level. सूक्ष्म धूलि तृण कंकर सब करह दूर भाल मत शोधन कर प्रभुरंतः पूर. So very nicely he described how one should clean the heart of all the gross anarthas and then the subtle anarthas also. After cleaning the wonderful temple of Gundicha, Mahaprabhu and all the associates, they perform the wonderful Sankirtan. And then as Sankirtan is happening, Advaitacharya's son, Gopal, he faints and he's completely unconscious. Nobody is able to revive him back. Mahaprabhu just puts his hand on the chest of Gopal, small boy, and says, Gopal, stand up. Hearing the voice of Mahaprabhu, Gopal stands up and starts chanting and dancing. So then after this, the wonderful pastimes of prasad, taking prasad is described by Kaviraj Goswami. All the devotees, they sat down. Mahaprabhu wanted to personally serve them. And Vaninath, he brought large quantities of Mahaprasad along with the superintendent of the temple, Jagannath temple. And Lord was requested, you please also sit. So Lord sat along with Paramananda Puri, Brahmananda Bharati, Advaita Acharya, Nityananda, all these big devotees, they are sitting. Then Mahaprabhu started calling, oh, please call Haridas Thakur. Haridas Thakur was standing at a distance. He said, no, no, Mahaprabhu, just tell Mahaprabhu. He told some devotees went to call him. He told, no, no, I am not qualified to be in close association with all these great devotees. All of you honor prasad, and then whatever remains, Govinda will give me. So then Mahaprabhu and all the devotees, they had wonderful prasad. Then Jagadananda Prabhu and Jagadanand Pandit and Swarup Damodar, they offered prasad to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So we were discussing, we had completed till verse number 184. So in this, wonderful dealings between Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, Gopinath Acharya, and Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is being described. So Gopinath Acharya, Mahaprabhu wanted to offer Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya also prasad. He made him sit beside him and he offered first class prasad to Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. Gopinath Acharya was also offered first class prasad. And Gopinath Acharya, he started serving. He served Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya and he spoke very sweetly. He says, just see this Bhattacharya. Kaha Bhattacharya Purva Jada Vyavahar. Kaha Ei Paramananda Karaha Vichar. Gopinath Acharya said, just see this Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya earlier. He was just absorbed in mundane behavior. He was an expert logician. And now, by the mercy of Mahaprabhu, he is absorbed in the wonderful, ecstatic, transcendental bliss. So we heard how Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya was a smart Brahman, Prabhupada writes. And smart Brahman, they can't believe that prasad is transcendental. They can't believe that Govinda is the original form of the Lord. They can't believe that Vaishnava is a liberated person. And they think, oh, the Lord is ultimately personal. So Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, he tells Gopinath Acharya, yes, it is all mercy of the Lord. I was completely absorbed in logic. Sarvabhauma Kahiyami Tarkik Kubuddhi. I was simply a less intelligent logician. Tomare prasade more sampat siddhi. By your mercy, O Gopinath Acharya, I have received this fortune. And it is all mercy of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Otherwise, what I was doing? I was just absorbed in logic. Kaha bahirmukh tarkika Shishyagana Sange, Kaha E Sanga Sudha Samudra Tarange. He says, I was just associating with all the logicians, they were absorbed in mundane logic. I was just using this logic like a jackal. Jackal just keeps on making sounds, bhew, bhew. He says, Tarkika Shrigal Sange, bhew, bhew kari, Sai Mukhe Visada Kaho Krishna Hari. I was just absorbed in logic, and from the same mouth, I am now speaking Krishna Hari. It is all mercy of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So, hearing this, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, Prabhu kahe purve siddha Krishna tomara priti, toma sange amasabar hoile Krishnamati. So, Mahaprabhu is always so very humble. He says, actually, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, you are a devotee from the last life. And because of your love for Krishna, we all have become conscious of Krishna. So Mahaprabhu is epitome of humility. When we have heard that when Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, he was transformed by Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and then Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya told Mahaprabhu as he was leaving for South India, he told that, please meet Ramanand Rai. He's the only person qualified to be with you. रामानंद राय आछे गोदावरी तीरे अधिकारी होय तेहु विद्यानगरे शुद्र विषय ज्ञाने उपेक्षा ना करिबो अमार वचने तारे अवश्य अवश्य मिलिबो. Don't think that he's a shudra, he's a vishay, he's a governor. Please take my words and meet him. So Mahaprabhu, when he meets Ramanand Rai, and Ramanand Rai, he starts glorifying Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. That you are such a, you are Supreme Lord. Mahaprabhu says, Are, I came to hear from you and you are glorifying me. And he says, Sarvabhaum gave mercy to me. Sarvabhaum sange mora man nirmal hoila. Bhakti tattva nahi jani tahate puchila. By associating with Sarvam Bhattacharya, my mind became purified. And I asked him Bhakti tattva. तेहो कहे आमी नाही जानी कृष्ण कथा सबे रामानंद जानी तेहो नहीं था. So he told that I don't know anything, Ramananda knows everything. So everyone knows who purified whom. Says Sarvabhaum Sange Mora Man Nirmal Hoila. Here also he is telling the same thing directly to Sarvabhaum Bhattacharya. Says Toma Sanga Ama Sabar Hoila Krishnamati. Directly he is telling that by your association, we are becoming Krishna conscious. If Mahaprabhu is presenting such a high standard of humility, how can anyone, be proud of their achievements? How can anyone be proud of their devotion? Bhakta Mahima Bharaite, Bhakta Sukha Dite, Mahaprabhu Vina Anya Nahi Tri Jagate. So now Kaviraj Goswami is telling, who is always Bhakta Mahima Bharaite and Bhakta Sukha Dite. So the Lord performs all the pastimes in this world for two purposes. Bhakta Mahima Badhaite, to increase the glory of the devotees, and Bhakta Sukhadite, to give happiness to devotees. And there is nobody in this entire world than Mahaprabhu who can do this so wonderfully. So Mahaprabhu and Krishna and all the avatars, they appear in this world for only one purpose, to glorify the devotees, to give pleasure to the devotees. That is the wonderful way Lord acts in this world. Krishnena Adbhuta Karmana. The most beautiful aspect, the most wonderful way is the Lord acts in this world. And amongst those wonderful things, most wonderful is how Lord works in a way to increase the glory of devotees. Lord is Sarva Saundarya Sangraham. He is abode of all the beauty, and the most beautiful aspect of the Lord is He gives credit to His devotees. That is what He likes to do. That is what He does always. Otherwise, He has nothing else to do in this world. Swayam Vakyamritam Kartum Avatirno Sime Grihe Chikirshur Bhagavan Dhyanam Bhaktanam Manavardhanam Bhaktanam Manavardhanam. So the Lord acts in a way to increase the pride and the glory of devotees. Kartamuni is glorifying the Lord in Bhagavatam 3rd canto. So whatever Lord does, He does to increase the glory of devotees. Bhaktanam Manavardhanam. He is always increasing the honor of His devotees. That's why He gives credit to Arjuna to kill all the powerful warriors. He could have done it himself. He defeated Jarasandha 17 times but didn't kill him. He gave the credit of killing Jarasandha to Bhima. He gave the credit of killing Bhishma, Drona, Kripa to Arjuna. He gave the credit of killing Duryodhana to Bhima, the most powerful and famous demons. Krishna could have killed them, Krishna could have taken the credit, but Krishna likes to give credit to his devotees. Bhakta Mahima Badhaite, Bhakta Sukhadite. These are the two ways Lord works in this world. So after this wonderful conversation, Mahaprabhu, he took the remnants of Lord Jagannath's Prasad and he also distributed to all the devotees, calling everyone individually. He was giving everyone individually with his own hands. Then Advaitacharya and Nityananda Prabhu, they were sitting side by side and they get into a mock fight. Kautuki Nityananda. Nityananda Prabhu is by nature very jolly, very humorous. And Advaitacharya, although he is very elderly, he also gets into that. So Advaitacharya he says, Advaita kahe avadhutera sanga ek pankti, bhojan karilu na jani habe ko nagati. So Advaitacharya says, Are, I am sitting in line with an unknown mendicant. Avadhutera ek sanga pankti. I don't know what will happen to me. What kind of destination is awaiting me? I'm sitting with a unknown mendicant. He says, for Mahaprabhu, it doesn't matter. He's a sannyasi. He will not be affected. But I am a grihastha. I'll be affected. Prabhu to sannyasi umhar nahi apachaye. Anna doshe sannyasi ra dosh nahi hoy. So he's a sannyasi. He will not be affected. But sannyasi can go anywhere and eat anywhere. But I am an observer. According to Shastra, sannyasis, they have no discrepancy. They can eat it at others' house. But for householders, so many regulations they have to follow. And I'll be implicated. I don't know from which family he's coming. Janma kul shilachara na jani yahar tar sange ek pankti bodo anachar. I don't know about his birth, his family, his behavior, his character, unknown. And I am sitting with him and eating. It is not proper for a householder to eat with a person whose character, whose behavior, whose house, home, family, birth unknown. So that's how he is giving all the bad words to Nityanand Prabhu in our joking mood. And Nityanand Prabhu is no less. Nityanand kahe tumi Advaita Acharya, Advaita Siddhanta Badhe, Shuddha Bhakti Karya. He says, Are, your name is Advaita. You are a teacher of impersonal monism. Advaita Siddhanta Badhe Shuddha Bhakti Karya. And by all this monistic philosophy, one cannot practice bhakti properly. It is a great hindrance in the path of pure devotional service. And to one who sits with you, participates with you in monistic philosophy, he also gets destroyed. Because you don't anything except Brahman. Everything is one for you. Krishna Prabhupada writes, according to monists, the god and the devotee may be separate in the material state. So that's what Mayavadis they say. Oh, because when the absolute truth appears in the form of goodness, he becomes avatar. Absolute truth in the form of a mode of passion becomes a living entity. Absolute truth in the mode of ignorance becomes the matter. That is a monism, that is a Dvaita. And all these Mayavadis, they think, oh, devotional service is also material activity. And they don't give much importance to process of devotional service. Prabhupada writes, actually, this discussion between Advaitacharya and Nityanand Prabhu was a mock fight to serve as a great instruction for all the devotees. Nityanand Prabhu wanted to point out that Advaitacharya, a pure devotee, did not agree with monistic conclusions. So he was telling that Advaitacharya is not like that. But in a joking way, he was criticizing Advaitacharya that you are Advaita. You are the principal, you are the teacher of Advaita philosophy. And this monism is a great hindrance on the path of devotional service. Srila Prabhupada writes that conclusion of devotional service is Vadanti tat tattvavidas tattvam yatyanavadvayam brahmeti paramatmeti bhagavaniti shabdyate. So absolute truth can be understood in three ways. Brahman, Paramatma and Bhagavan. And Advaitacharya, he's given a title Acharya. Why he's given a title Acharya? Because he spread the bhakti movement. He spread the principles of devotional service. And therefore, Prabhupada quotes that the true conclusion of Advaita Siddhanta. So, Advaita Siddhanta is what? Advaita Siddhanta means there is oneness in variety. So, there is variety, but there is oneness also. The oneness in quality, and difference in quantity. The Lord is infinite, we are infinitesimal. Lord is Vibhu, we are Anu. He's like a gold mine, and living entities are like gold particles. Sun and sunshine, rays of sunshine. So that's the difference. But qualitatively, it is same. The particles of the uh, ocean, the drop of ocean and the ocean is same. The gold particle and the gold mine, the quality is same. But the difference is in quantity. So Prabhupada writes, so actually Nityananda Prabhu is praising Advaita Acharya through this mock fighting. And then he says the devotee knows this. There is oneness in variety. There is variety, but there is oneness in quality, not in quantity. Because everything manifests from the Supreme Lord. Mattah parataram nanyat kinchidasti dhananjaya. Everything is coming from the Lord. So simultaneously they are one and different from the Lord. Because it is coming from the Lord, it is one with the Lord. But they are different because the manifestations are different. The quality, the quantities are different. So the conclusion is that the powerful and the power are one and the same. Within the energy of the powerful, there are varieties. So powerful and power. Shakti Shaktiman Abheda. There is no difference. You can say sun and sun rays. You cannot separate sun from the sun ray. They are in one sense one. Prabhupada gives example. When the sun enters, when the sun rays fall in a house, people say sun has entered the house. But no, sun has not entered the house. The sun ray has entered the house. But it is said the sun and sun rays, they are same. So that's how Prabhupada writes. There is always variety in the category, which is understood as the knowledge, knower, and the knowable. So the knowledge, the knower, and the knowable, they are all different. That is a variety. It is not the same. So Prabhupada writes, the philosophy of monism is an adjustment of Buddhist philosophy. So what is Buddhist philosophy? Buddhist philosophy means everything merges into oblivion. After this existence, everything ends. That is the philosophy of voidism. But no, it is not like that. Everything doesn't end with this life. Because as Krishna says that it is eternal. The living entities are eternal and the Supreme Lord is eternal. Then what changes? The form changes. The manifestation changes, but the matter remains the same. The Prakriti remains the same. The manifestation of the Prakriti changes. So actually, in the mock fighting with Advaita Acharya, Nityanand Prabhu was actually refuting this type of monistic philosophy. So in this material world, there is Prakriti and Pradhan. Prakriti means the material nature and Pradhan means the ingredients of the material nature. For one who becomes, Prabhupada writes, for one who becomes Krishna conscious, the distinction does not exist. They see everywhere the manifestations of the Supreme Lord only. As Caitanya Caritāmrta sings, Sthavar Jangam dekhi na dekhe tara murti sarvatra hoye nij ishtadeva spurti. For a purified soul, he is not seeing moving and non-moving beings. He is seeing Krishna everywhere. That's the advanced devotee. He's not seeing, oh, here is a moving being, there is a dead matter, there is a nature, there is a Prakriti, and there is a Purusha, there is a living entity. Everything is manifestation of the Supreme Lord only. Because ultimately everything is coming from Vasudeva only. As Bhagavatam describes, Dravya Kal Chakarmascha Swahavo Jiva Evacha Vasudeva Parvanyo Nachanyo Arthasti Tattvataha. There is nothing else in this world apart from Vasudeva. Dravya, Kala, Karma, Subhav, and Jiva. Dravya means the Prakriti or the material nature. which comes from the pores of Lord Vishnu. Kala, the time factor. Karma, the living entity's actions. Dabhya kala cha karmascha swabhava jiva evacha. And jiva has his swabhava and jiva has his karma. Everything is the manifestation of the Supreme Lord only. So devotee understands this. Devotee knows all this. It's like Prahlad. Prabhupada quotes the example of Prahlad. Prahlad, he was seeing Krishna everywhere. Nyasta Kridanako Balo Jadvatan Manastaya Krishna Graha Grihitatma Naveda Jagaditrisham. He was not attracted to any childish sports. Nyasta Kridanaka Bala. He was not interested in any childish sports. Jadavat, he was looking as if he was a dumb child. But Krishna Graha Grihitatma. He was seeing Krishna everywhere. Krishna Graha means he was haunted by Krishna planet. Generally, people, they say, oh, he's haunted by Shani or Rahu or some planet. A devotee is haunted by Krishna planet. Devotee is in control of Krishna planet. And all the other planets, they come and go. But if Krishna planet enters the life, doesn't leave. So Prabhupada writes, one who is in full Krishna consciousness does not distinguish between things material and spiritual. He takes everything to be related to Krishna and therefore spiritual. A devotee knows the art of spiritualizing everything by using everything in Krishna's service. That is called as Yukta Vairagya. Prabhupada continues, by Advaya Jnana Darshan, Srila Advaitacharya has glorified pure devotional service. So by Advaya Jnana means we are one in variety. There is oneness in variety, oneness in quality, not in quantity. So Srila Prabhupada is describing how Advaitacharya is glorified by Nityananda Prabhu. He is sarcastically condemning the philosophy of impersonal monism, and he is praising the correct non-dual philosophy, Prabhupada writes, non-dual philosophy of Advaita Prabhu. So the Mayavad philosophy is condemned that everything is one. No, everything is not one. But still there is non-dual oneness. There is some difference also. Kaviraj Goswami mentions. Nityananda says, oh, you're such a monist, and now I'm sitting beside you. I don't know how my mind will be affected in this way. So earlier, Advaitacharya was giving bad words to Nityananda Prabhu. He is Avadhut, I'm sitting with Avadhut, I don't know what will happen to me. And now Nityananda Prabhu is telling that I am sitting with a Mayavadi. I don't know what will happen to me. Prabhupada quotes in the purport, this Sangat Sanjayate Kama, the association is so very powerful. And the principle of Vaishnavism is Asat Sanga Tyag E Vaishnava Achar. Stri Sanghi Eka Sadhu are Krishna Abhakta are. One should avoid association with anyone who is not a devotee of Krishna, who is not a Vaishnava. Stri Sanghi, Asadhu, and Krishna Abhakta. Avoid association of the opposite gender, one who is not a devotee, and one who is not saintly. So Vaishnava, he is very, very careful not to associate with a materialist. Nishkinchanasya bhagavad bhajanonmukhasya param param jigimashor bhavasagarasya sandarshanam vishayna matayoshitam cha ahanta hantarsha bhakshanatopya sadhu. This verse says, anyone who is bhajanonmukhasya, who is in the path of devotional service, who is nishkinchanasya, who has given up all the material attachments. And what does he want? Param jigimashor. He wants to cross this ocean of material existence. What he should do two things. Avoid two things. Sandarshanam Vishainam Matayoshitam cha. He should avoid association of the opposite gender, and he should avoid association of materialists. Vishay and Vishay. And this verse says to associate with them, it is more deadly than drinking, than staying in the pit with snakes. Association is very, very powerful. So Prabhupada describes that. And then Kaviraj Goswami says, Ei mata dui jane kore bola bali, vyaj stuti kore duhe ye na gala gali. Although they are giving bad words to each other, but what are they doing? They are glorifying each other's wonderful qualities. So in this way, they both went on talking and praising one another. And then Mahaprabhu, he called all the Vaishnavas, they distributed Mahaprasad, and Mahaprabhu was personally distributing prasad to all the devotees. And then, as all this is happening, this mock fight between Advaitacharya and Nityananda is becoming more and more exciting and interesting. After this, all the Vaishnavas, they, after taking their lunch, they got up and they all chanted the names of the Lord. भोजन करी उठे सबे हरि ध्वनि करी हरि ध्वनि उठिला सब स्वर्ग मर्त्य भरी. The life of a devotee is full of chanting of the names of the Lord. Whenever the opportunity comes, chanting of the names of the Lord should be there. That's why all our practices of bhakti is full of such wonderful ways in which we can chant the names of the Lord in all the occasions. While eating prasad, after eating prasad, before eating prasad, anywhere, anytime. That is what all the devotees are doing here. All the devotees, they got up after taking their lunch and they started chanting Hari Hari. And they were chanting so loudly that it seemed that entire upper and lower planetary systems are filled with the names of Lord Hari. Then personally, Mahaprabhu offered flower garlands to each and every devotee and smeared sandalwood pulp on each and every devotee. That is a famous pastime, wonderful pastime Mahaprabhu does always. Then there were 7 people headed by Swarup Damodar Goswami. They were distributing prasad, and then when everybody took prasad, then they took their prasad in the end. That's how the servers were in the times of Mahaprabhu. They would take in the end. Generally, in current times in ISKCON, what happens is to make sure that the servers are not in anxiety. One time, Gaurang Prabhu, he was telling that in Yatra, some devotees, IYS Yatra, some devotees were serving youth boys and they were thinking, oh, mera plate, bachega ki nahi, prasad bachega ki nahi. They were always in anxiety. So then Gaurang Prabhu, what he started doing, he would feed all the servers first. And then they would be given the seva of serving. So earlier they would be giving sweet very little because they were thinking, hamare liye bachega ki nahi bachega. And after they were fed, they were giving as if they had 5 hands. And devotees would tell, Arey Prabhuji, apne liye bhi kuch rakhiye. No, no, no. We are happy and satisfied with seva. But the ideal standards in the times of Mahaprabhu was after everyone takes prasad, then the servers take prasad. Then Haridas Thakur is not there. So Govinda, he saved some remnants of Mahaprabhu's Mahaprasad and delivered it to Haridas Thakur later. And then some remaining remnants of Mahaprabhu was distributed to all the other devotees. And in the end, Govinda, the servant of Lord Sri Chaitanya, he took prasad. Swatantra Ishvara Prabhu Korena Nakela, Hoya Pakhala Nama Koila Ek Lila. So in this way, Mahaprabhu, he's a supreme independent Lord. He performs so many pastimes. So here he performed the pastime of cleansing and washing Gundicha temple. Now, Gundicha temple washing is done. The next day, another wonderful festival is about to start. So after the Gundicha marjan is done, the next day, early morning, the Netrotsav happens. So in the Netrotsav, the devotees, they are in separation from the Lord for 15 days because they are not able to have darshan of the Lord. So Prabhupada writes, after this Snan Yatra, what happens? The Lord goes into seclusion for 15 days. And in this period, which is known as Angaraga, what happens is the body of the Lord is repainted because Lord is washed with so much of the water, Snani Yatra. So the Lord needs repainting, that is called as Angaraga. And then early morning, the Netrotsav festival is celebrated, which is the life and soul of the devotees. To be in separation from the darshan of the Lord is a big, big tapasya for devotees. The Lord Jagannath's beautiful eyes and darshan of the Lord is the life and soul of all the devotees. So they were in separation. So as soon as this Netrotsav came, Mahaprabhu became so very happy. He took all the devotees and went to visit the temple of Lord Jagannath. In front, Kashishwar Pandit was walking. Kashishwar Pandit was a very strong built devotee. He would keep all the people away from Mahaprabhu. He was like bouncer, always keeping everyone away. And then Govinda, he would walk in the back, in the rear. And then Paramanand, after they were about to reach the temple along with Kashishwar. Two other devotees are also there, Brahmananda Bharati and Paramananda Puri. They were also in front. And on the sides were Swarup Damodar Goswami and Nityananda Prabhu. So, and Advaita Acharya. So all these devotees, they are walking in great eagerness. So in front, Kashishwar Pandit, Paramananda Puri, Brahmananda Bharati. On the sides are Advaita Acharya and Swarup Damodar Goswami. In the back is Govinda carrying the Kamandalu. And they are all very happy, very eager to have darshan of Lord Jagannath. So generally, devotees would take darshan from far distance. Mahaprabhu would not go near the Lord. He would take darshan from this Garuda Stambha. Today also, if you go to Jagannath Puri, one can see the fingerprints of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu on the Garuda Stambha. In the ecstasy of taking darshan of Lord, the stone also melted. The Garuda Stambha also melted. But this time, what happened? Darshan lobhite kori maryada langhan bhoga mandape yaya kore Sri Mukha darshan. So generally, one is not allowed to enter the area where the Lord is offered bhoga mandap. Nobody should see what is offered to the Lord. So therefore, all the pujaris, all the pandas, when they get bhoga, it is covered with cloth. But this time, because Mahaprabhu was in separation from darshan of the Lord for 16, 15 days, darshan lobhete kori maryada langan. He transgressed, he neglected all the regulated principles, and he went right up to Mandap where bhoga was being offered. Trishartha Prabhura Netra Brahmara Yugal Gada Trishnaya Piye Krishnera Vadana Kamal. So here Kaviraj Goswami compares the eyes of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as two bumblebees. Trishartha Prabhura, thirsty eyes of Mahaprabhu became like the bumblebees. And the beautiful face, lotus-like face of Lord Jagannath, it was like a full-blown lotus. Gadha Trishnaye Piye Krishnera Vadana Kamal. So the lotus face of the Lord is always compared. The face of the Lord is compared with lotus. 8 parts of the Lord's body is compared with lotus. Netra Nabhi Vadana Karyuga Charan, Ei Ashtapadma Krishnange. There are 8 parts. Netra, 2 eyes. Nabhi, Vadan, face. Karyuga, and 2 hands and 2 legs, 2 feet. And there's a beautiful fragrance which comes from the body of Lord. Karpura lipta kamala tara iche parimala sei gandha ashta padma ange. You mix the fragrance of the lotus with camphor. That is a fragrance which comes from the body of Lord Krishna. So the lotus face of the Lord is compared with the face of the Lord is compared with lotus. And Mahaprabhu in intense separation, Gadha Trishnaye Piye Krishnera Vadana Kamal, drinking the beauty of the Lord through the eyes. Generally, we take darshan from the eyes, darshan with the help of eyes. But here, Mahaprabhu is drinking the beauty of Krishna through the eyes. That is how a devotee should be so very eager, not distracted while taking darshan of the Lord. In third canto, it is described when one takes darshan of the Lord, one should meditate on each and every limb of the Lord. Till when one should meditate? Yavan na chyavate manaha, till the time one's mind allows. One should not be taking darshan of the Lord in a haste. Darshan fatapat leke hai. Okay, sometimes it is there, we don't have much time, but whenever time is there, of course, we should find time and go to the Lord and take darshan of the Lord very, very nicely, meditating on each and every limb of the Lord. And Mahaprabhu is showing by his example how one should be really eager. Prafulla Kamalajini Nayana Yugal Neelamani Darpana Kanti Ganda Jalam Chalmal. So eyes of Lord Jagannath, they conquered the beauty of the blossoming lotus flowers. Prafulla Kamalajini Nayana Yugal. The lotus eyes of the Lord conquered the beauty of the full-blown lotus. Lord's beauty is always compared with lotus. Lotus is the most beautiful thing in the nature. So the Lord's eyes, they are compared with a full-blown lotus. Nayan Yugal. And his neck was as lustrous as a sapphire. Neelamani Darpana Kanti Ganda Jahlamal. Just like the mirror which is made up of sapphire. It was very, very shiny, lustrous. So Srila Prabhupada writes in this purport, what is this Maryada Langan? In verse number 210, it was described that Mahaprabhu did Maryada Langan. So what is this Maryada? Maryada Langan means violation of the regulative principles. So here Prabhupada mentions a very, very important point. He says this indicates that one should not come very near a superior. Maryada. Maryada is very important. Etiquettes. And he says both the Lord's deity form and the spiritual master should be seen from a distant place. One should not come close to spiritual master and to the deity. This is Maryada. And Prabhupada writes, sometimes coming too near to the deity or the spiritual master degrades the neophyte devotee because familiarity breeds contempt. If a devotee is not very, very mature and careful by coming in close association with a spiritual master and or the deity, they may commit offenses. And instead of elevating in consciousness, they will get degraded in consciousness. And that's what we have seen in our history. There was one servant of Prabhupada, Purushottam. Since Purushottam Prabhu, he saw that Srila Prabhupada is very casually and very, in a very, very, very close way, playing with this small girl Saraswati. He is like a grandfather. So this Purushottam Prabhu started thinking, he is a sannyasi. Why he is Showing all these emotions for a small child, it is not good. And the result was he left. Why he left? Because Srila Prabhupada, he commented that we never landed on moon. And that was the last straw that broke the camel's back. One time, Jayadvaita Maharaj, he was asked by Tamal Krishna Maharaj, Tamal Krishna Goswami Maharaj, that can you please come in the circle, closer circle of Srila Prabhupada's servants, so that you can also serve Prabhupada. You can also become, secretary of Prabhupada. So Jayadvaita Maharaj tells that I said no, I can't. Tamal Krishna Maharaj said, devotees all over the world, they are hankering for this seva. And you are given this seva and you are saying no. So Jayadvaita Maharaj says, look, by nature I am an editor. That is how I am, that is the service I am used to doing. I edit, I find faults. If I'll be in closer circuit of Srila Prabhupada, I'll find faults with Prabhupada and I'll fall down. So that's how Srila Prabhupada writes, one should be very, very careful not to come too close to spiritual master or to the deities. Because seeing some apparent material aspects, material activities of spiritual master, one may start thinking if somebody is not very mature in Krishna consciousness. As there is a verse which says, Arche Vishnu Gurushu Narmati, Arche Vishnu Shiladhi Gurushu Narmati Vaishnava Jati Buddhi Sanaraki Sa. If somebody considers that, oh, Archa Vigraha is an ordinary stone, and Guru is an ordinary human being like us, he also eats, we also eat, he sleeps, we sleep. Now, what's the difference? And Vaishnava, oh, he's an American Vaishnava, he's a Chinese Vaishnava, he's an Indian, North Indian, South Indian. That is a hellish intelligence. We are seeing based on the externals. Prabhupada writes, the personal servants of the deity and the spiritual master should therefore always be very careful, for negligence may overcome them in their duty. One should be really careful. Otherwise, if we are not very careful, instead of advancing and elevating in Krishna consciousness, we may go down, we may fall down from that position because of the offense. So therefore, it is very, very important to understand the principle, familiarity breeds contempt. One should never ever come close to spiritual master. We should never be casual in our dealings with the spiritual master and the deities. Very, very respectful. As Devahuti, she served her husband, Vishrambena Atma Shaushena Gauravena Damena Cha Vasha Madhuraya Cha Bho. She served her husband with lots of intimacy and respect. This combination is really difficult. Intimacy and respect. Controlling the senses with sweet words. So that is the quality of a disciple, not coming closer to spiritual master and at the same time serving him very, very nicely. Prabhupada continues. Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's eyes have been compared with thirsty bumblebees, and Jagannath's eyes are compared to blossoming lotus flowers. So that is how Lord Sri Chaitanya was really absorbed in ecstatic love. Bandhulira Pulajini Adhara Suranga Ishata Hasita Kanti Amrita Taranga. The chin of the Lord, chin of Lord Jagannath, it was tinged with buff color and it resembled bandhuli flowers. And Lord is smiling in a mild way. Ishata Hasita. That means Lord, he smiles gently. That is called a Smita Hasya. Rupa Goswami describes in Bhakti Rasamrita, there are various types of laughter. Smita Hasya means when the teeth are not visible. So Lord smiles like that always. Smita Hasya. So when the Lord smiles, and because his chin is also buff colored, red colored, so that increases the beauty of the smile of Lord. Srimukha Sundara Kanti Bade Shane Shane Koti Bhakta Netra Bhringa Kare Madhupane. So the beauty of Lord Jagannath, Srimukha Sundara Kanti Bade, it is increasing. The beauty of the Lord is increasing every moment. And all the devotees, they are very eagerly having darshan of this beautiful form of Lord Jagannath after 15 days. This form of the Lord, as we see in the deity form, Srila Prabhupada always describes that this form we should meditate very, very carefully for a long time. And this form can purify all our anarthas, all our conditionings. Every limb of the Lord should be meditated upon. There is one thing to have a darshan of the Lord as a whole body, but just like a yogi, first meditates on the body as a whole, that is called as dharan, and then one meditates on each and every limb very, very closely. That is called as dhyanam. So that is very, very important. This meditation purifies the heart of all the conditions. So all the devotees, they are having darshan of this beautiful form of Lord. Koti Bhakta Netra Bhringa. So the face of the Lord is like a lotus flower, and the devotees' eyes are like the honeybees. Koti Bhakta Netra Bhringa Madhukare Madhupani. And these honeybees are drinking the nectar of the beautiful lotus-like face of Lord Jagannath. But as their eyes are drinking the beauty of Lord, their thirst is increasing. Krishna consciousness is so wonderful. Nothing can satisfy a devotee except Krishna consciousness, and devotee is never satisfied with Krishna consciousness. Only Krishna Katha satisfies the devotees, and devotee is never satisfied with Krishna Katha. That means he wants to hear more and more and more. And that is what is described in the next verse. Yatta piye tata trishna bade nirantar mukham buja chhadi netra nayaye antar. As their eyes are drinking the beauty of Lord Jagannath, their thirst is increasing and they can't leave. They can't stop having darshan of Lord Jagannath. Vidurji, he asks Maitreya Muni so many questions. He tells, please tell me about Krishna, the pastimes, the family. And Maitreya Muni says, well, you must have heard about Krishna. He says, first of all, he says, I've heard a lot of dharma, artha, kama, moksha from Vyasadeva. Paravaresham bhagavan vratani shrutani me vyasa mukhadamikshnam atripnuma full shulla sukhavahana tesham rite Krishna kathamrito ghat. I've heard lots of dharma, artha, kama, moksha from my father Vyasa, but they have given me really little bit of satisfaction, not much. Shulla sukh, very little pleasure. Maitreya Muni says, well, you must have heard about Krishna also a lot, right? You are born in the family of Krishna. He says, Kastritno yat tirtha padobhidana satre shuva suri bhiridyamana yat karna nadim purushasya yato bhava pradhamage ratim chinatti. Are you can be satisfied hearing about Krishna? Kastripno yat. He is tirtha padobhidana. He makes the holy place into holy place. Big, big sages, big, big devotees are glorifying him. Anyone who hears the glories of Krishna, all his anarthas, all his vasanas are purified. The geharati, the attachment to family life is destroyed. That is what is happening here. Yatapiye tatatrishna bhade nirantar. Your thirst for having darshan of the Lord is increasing. Srila Prabhupada writes, he quotes a verse from Laghu Bhagavatamrita as Rupa Goswami describes the beauty of the Lord. असमानोर्ध्वमाधुर्य तरंगामृतवारिधि जंगमनस्थावरोल्लासी रूपो गोपेन्द्र नंदन. The beauty of the son of Nand Maharaj is asaman urdhva. There is nobody who is equal to him or greater than him. Gopya tapakkimacharam yadamasya rupam lavanya saram samordhvam ananya siddham. Lavanya sara is his body is the essence of loveliness. Asamordhvam, there is nobody equal to him or greater than him. He says, Thavara Jangamas Thavara Ullasi. This beauty is attractive both for moving and non-moving beings. When Krishna is moving in the forest of Vrindavan, even the trees, they are attracted by the beauty of Krishna. They also lower their branches. They also offer the fruits and the flowers to Krishna. That is the beauty of Krishna. Everyone is attracted. Prabhupada quotes this verse by Brahmaji. Kandarpa Kotika Maniya Vishesha Shobham. And he quotes the verse from Tantra Shastra also. Kandarpakote Arbudarupa Shobha Nirajya Padabja Nakhanchalasya Putrapya Drishta Shrutaramya Kante Dhyanam Param Nanda Sutasya Vakshe. The tip of the toes of his feet reflect the beauty of the bodies of unlimited cupids, millions of cupids. The tip of the toe is defeating the beauty of millions of cupids. And the luster of the Lord's body is never heard, never seen. So that is the son of Nanda Maharaj. So in this way, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu enjoyed seeing the beautiful darshan of Lord Jagannath along with all the other devotees that continued till midday. And Mahaprabhu is absorbed in dancing. All the symptoms of ecstasy are manifesting in the body of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Shvedakam Pashtu Jala Vahe Sarvakshana Darshanira Lobhe Prabhu Kare Samvaran. Mahaprabhu is going into ecstasy every moment. Sweda, Kampa, Ashrujal, sweating, trembling, tears. Every moment it is happening. But Mahaprabhu is somehow controlling because he wants to take darshan of the Lord. If the tears come out, he can't see anything. And as they are taking darshan of Lord in between the pandas, they are coming and offering bhoga to the Lord. So in between they have to stop, they have to close the darshan. So in between darshan is getting interrupted and again they wait, again Lord gives darshan and again the devotees are so very happy. So from morning to evening this is going on. And all the devotees of Lord Jagannath, all the servants of Lord Jagannath, they know that this is the last bhoga which they'll be offering in the temple, Sri Mandir. Because after this, next morning, Jagannath will go to Gundicha. So they offer double bhoga. And in this way, Kaviraj Goswami ends this chapter. Gundicha Marjana Lila Sankshepe Kohila Yaha Dekhi Shuni Papira Krishna Bhakti Hoila. He gives Falashruti. Anyone who hears and sees these wonderful pastimes of the Lord, Papira Krishna Bhakti, even a sinful man can awaken his Krishna consciousness. So in this way, Kaviraj Goswami ends this chapter. Sri Rupa Raghunath Padeyaras Chaitanya Charitāmrta He Krishna Das. So we'll also stop here. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ki jai, Shri Krishna Das Kaviraj Goswami ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai.